Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to podcast. Today we have Radhiah and also Joe. Alright. So how you been, man? It's been a long time that we have not met, and what a way to meet you today. But what's T-Hall SG? Okay. Yes, it's a very huge place. First time after 30 years that I've been doing some climbing. Alright. So today we're going to have an insight. Going to dig into the minds, alright, what actually drives them to use such a sport, alright, and what drives them, how who initiated, who motivated them to do this, and why actually spending their time at war, alright. So Joe, how long have you been doing this rock climbing?
On and off for the past 20 years. You think about it, we all started at the same place.
Alright, okay.
You may think about it that way. So back in poly days, so at this place called Camp Dairy.
Right.
We got a wonderful estate place.
Let's ask Radhiah, how did you get started into rock climbing then?
I was exposed at Camp David as well.
Yes.
But back then, I can't afford all the equipment.
Yeah.
So kind of forgot about it.
Yes.
Until about slightly more than 10 years ago,
Sure.
my cousin wanted to learn
Okay.
climbing. So I got our old friend Hairu to teach us.
Oh, right, yeah. Yes.
So that was when I really got into climbing. Yeah. By then, yeah.
Okay. So since then you've been climbing often? How often do you go for climbing since then?
I try to make it a point at least once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah, the most I can do is twice a week. Yeah.
How about Joe? How about yourself?
I try to maintain 2 to 3 times a week.
Stronger.
I need more maintenance because of my size.
It's not the size that counts, alright? It's the spirit there. Actually, we were just wondering what motivates you to do rock climbing. And knowing that, Joe, knowing that you say about your size, you know, the perception, what size I can't climb, just what many people thinking, just because size you can't climb. So what motivates you?
There's a lot of dimensions around this sport. So it's not really about fully 100% physics, but there's a lot of elements like problem solving involved. Then,
How about
I just love to climb.
you just love to climb?
My friend used to ask my mom, "What do you feed Radhiah when she was a baby?" "You feed your mom." Because I just love to climb. So when the first time I saw a rock wall, I was just so intrigued by it. So yeah.
So it's the wall itself that actually inspires you.
Is the climbing. The fact that I like to climb. Yeah. Used to climb trees. Whatever else I can climb.
Enlighten us for those listeners out there, in terms of rock climbing. I mean, I know that indoor walls, outdoor walls, right? So, besides the indoor walls, where have you been for the outdoor rock climbing?
Outdoor Singapore, there's dairy farm,
Okay.
but I don't like climbing at dairy farm.
Right. Why is that so?
Not my cup of tea. Not clean, not well maintained. So not really into it. Outdoors, I've climbed at KL, Krabi. I was in England. My friend brought me to some cliff, but it was so freaking cold that we just did one climb, and then I was like, okay, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you? Whereabouts have you done outdoor climbs?
dairy farm is not too bad.
Okay.
We actually help to maintain. It's our little backyard. Actually, places like rather been to KL, Krabi, I went to Chiang Mai before, visit horse, Australia and UK as well. So, and I think my most recent one is in Chamonix in France.
Wow.
So that was when I did a Mont Blanc. Yeah. It was a mountain biking trip, so it's just the last 3 days I went for one, just do some light climbing.
Hey, hi, sorry, we have to move because there's some background noise. Alright, so we find another spot. So we're going to continue our conversation. Okay, actually, as you're climbing, doing all these extreme sports, is there any kind of fear within you?
For outdoor lah.
Yeah.
For me, when I climb outdoor, there's that fear lah.
Alright.
Because it's like, they pull in, but it's left there, rain and shine and everything. So, there's always that trust issue. So, that's why I always prefer the indoor.
So it's more safe.
Yeah.
But in outdoor, you do have a belayer or you're on your own or you're doing a lead climb, is it?
Yeah. Of course, we must have belayers. And best to have our own group of friends who we trust and we know how they behave. If you just get a stranger, don't know their style, a bit scary.
So it's a lot of trust between you and your belayer itself. Now, in your climbs that so far that you've been doing, is there one moment or one climb that you can remember most that's memorable for you?
Maybe hard moves in climbs,
Alright.
When able to do a hard move like after like so many attempts, so many tries, and then finally
Yeah, so how about Joe? How about yourself? Going through as you are climbing, were there any fear or the concern?
Fear is something that is not really, it's constantly lacking in me. I actually enjoy almost every single moment. Even uncertain. Adventure is about facing the uncertainty and the unknown. So I kind of learn how to accept it and learn how to face it as it comes for almost everything. So, and especially because I do multi-picture, I do adventure climbs. So there's once whereby we climb up the same face. And we got lost. Because on the map it's drawn, you're supposed to climb up and go to the left.
Right.
But on actual fact, in the end, the climb is we went up, there's nothing on the left. In the end, we go right, and then we traverse all the way right side. So it's totally different. It was at KL Takun. Then 2 months later, our local friends went there. The same thing happened to them. So it kind of, it was known as, that one is really a misleading route. But it kind of adds on to the fun element as well. You just explore the unknown and just keep going. That's what adventure is really about.
So, just now you mentioned, enlighten me a bit more. What is this track thing? This is my first time on. You have like a map on the wall.
Right.
Okay.
So when we go outdoors, there's maps, what we call as betas. So those are the people who first voted the walls or they first climbed. So they will draw on the wall itself. This is the route that you are supposed to take. So it kind of set us as a guideline, and this is the way that this is the identified route that we're supposed to go. Right. So these are graded. So very much like in the climbing gym, when you see on the wall, there's different colors.
Right.
So it's similar concept, but just that in the gym you got a color to differentiate. But in the outdoor, what you see is just a brown patch. So you just need to identify the obvious points of like, okay, I think that is the only piece of tiny rice that you can hold, and you just have to trust your foot weight on it.
One way to see, right, if it's a frequently climber, you will see all the chalk markings. Then you know exactly where to go. Then you know exactly where to go.
But that's the fun part, because that place where people hold may not be the best place for you.
Very different bit.
Correct. So you still need to find your own way to move up.
During climb, I know you do have this belay, you have the ropes attached to. Do you have any so-called close call for during your climbs? I know even though if you get off the wall, you'll be safe lah. But any close call?
Many.
So, especially during the first few tries, when you're exposed to a rock wall, right? So that first few close calls, how does it feel? How's the feeling then? I know this is many years back, okay?
I kind of expected it.
Okay,
because number one, because of my weight. No, it's already, because you see, the difference is between me and generally the entire Singapore, it's very hard to find people in the 3DJ realm that is climbing. So when we are leading, the weight difference is really a lot. So it becomes like the moment I fall, they will be pulled up higher. And when they got pulled into the wall and go up, it means I'll go even down further. So one of the time that I was climbing in Taiwan, at Longtong itself. It's called Dragon Cave. So I was wearing helmet, but after I fell on the first clip, my head was nearly brushing on, almost brushing on the ground. That was.
You fell on the first clip.
Because at Taiwan itself, because when you go to a natural crack, it will take a bit of time to get used to the style of the climb. Like for example, when you're in France, generally the Caucasians, they are longer in span. So what may be an easy climb for them, for us it's like almost maximum. Maybe for them it's like that, for us it's like that.
But you're mostly indoors, so in the cold storm you just fall like that into the carpet or the cushion itself.
He was belaying.
He was. So
I'm not used with people giving me too much slack. So apparently at that time I think I was reading a lot, so my confidence level was higher. I dared to try. So I was doing this move and then I just slipped and fell, and I think I fell like half of the wall. So what that freaks me out. Then one more time was at Krabi, the one by the beach. We were climbing quite high up, and then same thing, I slipped and it was such a high swing. So I just
see, climbing, whether it's indoor or outdoor, some people see it as an extreme sport, right? So it's like, you must be crazy to do all this. In fact, to coming here again after 10 years, it's also saying you're crazy, look. Hey,
wait for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. What is that? Will be the 8th. I anticipated that, so after this need to do some stretching. So over the years actually doing rock climbing itself, how it actually benefited you or helped you in your life or your physical being?
It makes me calmer when feeling situations. I mean, it's on the wall, you're always faced with crowds. Difficult move. But if you think about it, anything that you do, be it work or be it your personal life, there's always crowds in life. There's always the different things. So it kind of always teach me that, yes, when you face with something difficult, you take a step back and try to find different ways to approach it and go around it.
I've never associated my rock climbing with real life before.
Oh, is it?
So
what do you associate?
I mean, when I climb, I'm just climbing. It makes me stronger. The thing is, for real life is that I train more because I want to be stronger so that I can climb the tree. But I don't actually relate like what Joe says, right? Like, the crowds, and then like relate that to real life. I don't. If at work something happen, if I panic, I say panic. But on the wall, if like I need to calm down, I can calm down.
But how could you translate the calmness at the wall to what?
I don't know, I just never connected. The only connection is that I train harder so that I can climb harder. And I'm stronger for that.
There's another thing, when you climb, alright, and you're looking down, and sometimes you are probably in initial moments, initial years that you're doing climbing. Were there any time, what the heck I'm doing up here? When this comes to your mind?
I feel heights, so I don't
what am I doing up here?
I get actually happier when I'm higher.
You get high. Okay, it's okay. You get high.
I have one t-shirt. I like to get high.
That's a good one. I get high.
I like to get high.
That's why I got Mont Blanc.
Wonderful. So that reminds you, right, to get high legally.
Is the view. When you climb like really high, and then the view is magnificent.
That's about what I'm doing. what's that sense of when you reach the top? What's that feeling?
Sense of accomplishment, like yeah, I did it. Like just now those boulders when it's so difficult, right? And then you make it all the way up. Yes.
That was a nice move actually in the last part. The last one.
The red one.
Yeah, the red one. That was beautiful. How about you, Joe?
I think I just feel relief that it's finally over. Yeah, because sometimes, especially outdoor climbs, right? Sometimes you like, for example, if you go Krabi or Chiang Mai, Taiwan, you are not there. You need to fly there in order to climb. So the next time that you can try the route and the move, it might be 1 year later, 2 years later. Yeah. So by the time, sometimes the project can take up to 4 years. Yeah.
Not that way.
Yeah. So far there's this route I'm still trying to do it. It's a 6C plus route in Batu Cave. Yeah. So I think I've been trying that for the past 4 years, 5 years. Yeah, but because I can't go back for the past 1 year plus, so I think if I go back now, it becomes a fresh start again. Yeah.
One of the things that it becomes a sport now that's very popular among Singaporeans, also I think globally also. Last time I agree when I first met you and when you first started, there's only that wooden wall.
That's where all the fun begins.
We don't have that many walls outside, but now today there's a lot of places out there, alright? So what would you be your advice for people out there who is afraid to start to do rock climbing? What would be your advice to them? I'm scared to, oh no, not from me, oh no, I cannot be. So what would be your little advice?
I have a friend who's afraid of heights, and she joins rock climbing to overcome that fear. Yeah. So like, yeah, it's like people should dare to overcome their fear. So if you are scared, just give it a try lah. The thing is, you must give it a try. Yeah.
Give a shot. But to overcome your own fear, you do the same thing that your fear. How about yourself?
Face the problem to solve the problem.
Wow. So cheap.
Yeah, I think very similar to what Radhiah mentioned is the first step is always the hardest. Yeah, so sometimes the unknown is what pulls you back. So just take the first step down, and you will never know how far you will go. Yeah. The first step is always the first step. Yeah, but the subsequent years, the number of steps you take, it really depends on whether you like it.
So once you try, you never turn like that. Once you get the lucky order.
This is worse than drugs. This is an addiction that I think is into the bloodstream.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an addiction. Once you love it, I tell you keep on coming back. Just like Radhiah, every week must get back. So do you see yourself, I mean, as we are maturing, do you see yourself doing this in years to come, continuing to do this?
Well, my oldest climbing friend is 85 years old now.
Seriously?
You know Dr. Kong? Yeah, so he's a doctor he's a retired doctor.
Okay.
I met him in Dairy Farm. He started climbing when he's 55 years old.
Okay.
So there's one project that he was doing in Dairy Farm that's Devil's Hand, 6A plus 6B.
Okay.
It took him 10 years. So when he finally finished, he texted me, Joe, I finally finished my 10-year project, Devil's Hand. I'm like, wow, yeah.
He started climbing at 55.
Wow. And until a few years back, he was still trying 7A plus 7B, but because some injuries, so he slowed down. So I really learned from all and he is the oldest, and I got people in their 60s, 50s as well. So I think it's about how, as far as I can push, I will just carry on.
Me too.
Yeah.
As long as I can still climb. It's just that I have to take care of myself more now because I get injured so much easier now.
Okay, yeah.
I tore my tendon like a couple of years back.
Not
Not the climbing itself, it's the working out to be stronger to climb. So I was doing circuits, I was doing too many push-ups. Then one fine day it hurt so bad, I thought I was having some heart problem. Then after MRI, I found that I tore my tendon. And then I was off climbing for about a year. Then when I started back, I straight away started doing difficult stuff. I broke my whatever thing. So I realized that I'm getting old. I have to realize that I am getting old. So it's like I have to take it easy. Yeah.
Okay, one last question. Do you really need to be fit actually, or fit, maybe strong, so really to start to do rock climbing? Seriously, yeah. Because I think there's like many myths, many people say, sure, Joe, you do rock climbing, and the mountain will fall on you instead of you climbing the wall.
I've been answering this question for the past 20 years as much as I've been climbing.
So there's another thing that probably people have with me, it's a myth, right? That you must be strong physically before you start rock climbing.
Being strong is a plus point.
I will always tell people that I study female climbers more than I study male climbers.
Okay.
Because if you look at male climbers or guys in general, upper body is easier to build and definitely are stronger just by physics.
Okay.
Yeah, physiologically wise, we are built that way. But if you look at how ladies climb, a lot of them focus on their movement,
Alright.
but they can be climbing harder things than guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes it's about how you perceive and how you really study what you need to do and move and to progress. It's more like solving a problem rather than really cranking and pulling yourself up. The strength will progressively come. Yeah, but as you age, the strength will also progressively lose. But
I feel it.
yeah, but technique is something that once you get it, it will just get better. It's like wine. The older it is, the better it tastes. Yeah, I mean, from the angle itself. So
Nice analogy.
yeah, yeah. So it's more in terms of that's why I mentioned it's the choreographer that you are dancing to the wall rather than really pulling yourself.
Yeah, I always tell people that climbing is not about strength, it's about your skills and technique. So as long as you know the technique, even though you don't have the strength, you can still do the move. Your strength is a plus point. Like those guys with strength, they can just campus the move without using their legs. But if I don't have the strength, I know the technique, I can still do that move nicely. Yeah.
There's also another element to climbing that is the mental. Yeah. You got the technique, you got the strength. But sometimes when your mental block is there, it's like, so far.
I cannot.
Cannot. But later actually when you like the thing what you did, actually, are you still okay?
I don't know what to do. I cannot. Okay.
Yeah.
Just go.
So it's about balancing that triple pie.
Wonderful. It's been a great chat with you all, and also thank you for bringing me to the wall after many years, and also
you
guiding me.
enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it, and I'm sure I'll be back again. All right. As someone said, need not be so physically, so I may not go to the gym, but I make sure that the technique to refine. So you'll be my coach then now. So what would be your last few words for people out there? I mean, for enthusiasts in rock climbing or anything. Last few words.
Just don't forget the reason why you started out something. Yeah. So if you start out something because there's certain belief or there's certain liking to it. Yeah. So you might feel tired as you progress. Yeah. But just never forget the reason why you start in the first place. Yes. And you always find back the passion.
Yeah. And thanks to that. Very powerful words. How about Radhiah?
Just give it a try.
Let's do it.
Yeah. But you never know if you're gonna love it or not. Yeah. The point is you must at least give it a try first. Yeah.
Alright, great. So that's it, man, for this season's edition. Alright, it's on rock climbing with Joe and also Radhiah. So it's been a great chat, not only the chat that we had, but also prior to that I had a good climb with them. They as my coaches. So yeah, today we are at I forgot the T Hall SG, which is at Crawford Road. Alright. So till we meet again, alright, for the next speaker and also adventure. So stay tuned to Yes Podcast. Bye bye.